Okay, so we're back on concept circles, and let's finish up here. Remember, there are three types of concept circles. One is which all the words in the circle are related, and the students must tell how they are related. And now let's work on one here in which all of the words are related except one. The student must identify the unrelated word and explain how the other words are related. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Safety, BP, drilling, and carelessness. Well, the key word that seems to be odd man out here is safety. That the BP drilling operations exhibited really kind of corporate carelessness. For example, they didn't drill a relief well in advance. They weren't required to, of course, but this was also deep water drilling, so there's a lot of potential for harm. And the carelessness is being documented in our newspapers. So I would say that safety is the odd man out here. And we could label up here, BP corporate behavior, or sloppy occupational practices. I mean, after all, 11 people were killed on that rig. All right, so let's now look at let's go and look at the third area. One or more of the sections is left blank. Students must fill in the blank sections with words that are related to the other words in the circle and explain why they chose those words. Okay, so the relationship that's established here is BP and fines, fines being a legal term. So we could come up with some other ones in which we could imagine. Let me see if I can get this right in here. I'm going to write up here lawsuits, and here's another one that I think will fit is damages. And clearly, some of the expectation is the reason why BP has not been forthright about explaining how much the quantity of oil is because the size of the financial settlement and damages with the federal government depends on how many gallons or how many barrels of oil is being released. It could be quite punishing. So our relationships here is that regarding these legal matters, lawsuits and damages fit in with fines, and of course the subject of the lawsuit is BP. And we could label the whole thing up here one more time. We could call this BP's legal problems or BP's legal issues. All right, so now we got a label. We got 4 related vocabulary items in here. Being able to get students to be able to, detect and note these issues is really essential. I think Concept Circles does well. I've done a search. There's not very much research information on Concept Circles. I believe it to be a activity that VACA and VACA have been using in their textbooks for a very long time. Okay, now let's go and talk about word study. Word study is more conventional here. Let me enlarge some of these cards so that you can see them a little bit more clearly on your screen. And I firmly believe in using a combination of word study, a small group work, as well as large group work, as well as word wall work, being able to get at the origin of these words. So you can see here that the first part I'm working on here has to do with roots. And when you're dealing with roots, you can see that there's all sorts of derivations of changing. Some of this changes according to the tense. In other words, past, present, and future tense. That's where it comes from. And being able to mark and note the different changes, usually the root portion is going to remain the same. But notice how the affixes, in other words, the suffixes and the prefixes of words are regularly able to be added in almost modular fashion. Okay, here we have more of a showing the preservation of the root when you have silent to sounded features. Let me just mark that in there. This is going to this is signaling that you are preserving root. Okay, and in this case, you can see crumb and crumble. Well, the B in crumb is not pronounced, but it is in crumble. And the same thing in moisten. The T is not sounded here, but it is in moist. Over here, columnist, you have the silent N. So if we were just to strictly adopt phonetic spellings of words, in other words, there is in English, there is a simplified spelling society. Well, if the purpose of all of that is simply to make our language more phonetically regular, what we're abandoning there is the way in which the orthography of our language, the way in which we spell words, we're abandoning meaning. Noam Chomsky, a great linguist at MIT, he and some co-authors have described the sound system of English as nearly optimal for being able to signal both sound, the phonics of it, and the meaning of the language because of the roots that are preserved. Okay, let's go down to now this other feature. Phonetically, what you're moving to in these words, able, ability, major, majority, compete, competition. Okay, so listen to these vowels. Pose, position, social, society, famous, infamous. Okay, all of these vowels, when they shift like that, you're moving into a schwa. But nevertheless, the root is preserved. We tend to be able to make these changes from long vowel to short or long to schwa in order to be able to say our words quickly. English-speaking people are a little bit lip lazy. So to be able to say words always exactly the same way is problematic for us. Now let's look at short vowels and moving to schwa. Academy, academic. Periodic, period. Celebrate, celebrity. Almost always these vowel changes are coming on the second vowel. Perfection, perfect. Mobility, mobile. Habit, habitat. Okay, so looking at those second vowels in those words shifts that. All right, look at also changing from long to short by using the CATION affix, apply an application, notify, notification, qualify, qualification. So we're looking in this case, we're shifting from Y to I and making that I a short I. So this shows some of the power of doing word study, making word walls with this type of stuff, and also making up individual cards that can be used at a student's desk.